Mesa, California. Jared Roan joined by J.J. Johnson in the final game of the season. Teams that love to go at each other, so evenly matched, and this is going to be a dogfight for sure.
Honestly, Jared, I think these two teams are like the evil twins looking at each other in the mirror. They play almost identical in style, especially because of that press, the 1-2-1-1 that both teams employ. Vanguard actually, when they beat them back in December and they came back and won, it was because of that press, and it was Hunter Simon who led the charge. She had 4.6 boards off the bench, but she was at the tip of that 1-2-1-1. Sides just got to play hard. It's senior day, and both teams are guaranteed to end their season today, even though they would be in the Pac-West tournament if they were eligible for the postseason. The rebound battle is going to be something to watch as well. Menlo's 11th in the conference in rebounds. Vanguard coming off a 48 rebound performance against Dominican, who was the best rebounding team in the conference. Clearly a strength of theirs. Will Menlo be able to shore that up? We'll see tonight, but it's going to be a fun one. That's going to be senior night heavy, and we know about that curse of the senior day, Jared. Hopefully it doesn't claim anyone tonight.
Vanguard have won the last 4 senior days, but they have been ugly, to say the least. I mean, we've had injury scares. We've had just poor shooting nights and poor shooting performances. Got to put it all together here on the home floor in their final game of the season. Let's talk about the starting lineups.
First play is going to be for Silva, trying to get her one. I love that from Coach Davis. Good gesture. Coach Davis not happy with Emma Scoff already, who is on the polar opposite of the spectrum, the freshman who continues to impress us so far this season. But another great gesture from Coach Davis, letting your senior guard get the start for the first time. And I mean, I don't think she started the game since the Pitt days. I mean, that's how long it's been for her, but trying to get her an open look here early, a really good gesture.
Short 2, and that won't go. Splashed off the rim and picked up by Hallie C.
Vanguard electing to not go to their press here early, but Menlo, you can see that they were ready for it. They said, get the ball out quick, no matter what, make or miss. A really good strategy here from Menlo early.
7 on the shot clock. Cooper goes to work on Silva and misses everything.
Yeah, well, Lex did her job right there. Even though she was beat, she stayed on the hip and then released at the last second so that she didn't get any ticky-tack fouls down low, and just said, fine, you want to beat me off the dribble? I got Emma Scoff protecting the rim behind me, who's second in the conference in blocks per game.
Still looking for her first points. The drive on Silva, attacks the freshman, and beats her to the rim.
Well, that's twice now we've seen Menlo go with the wrong-legged layup with the one hand, as Matson thought about a 3, but no there. That might have been something they worked on, because that way you deter the timing from Emma Scoff to try to block your shot. You know, aside from that Westmont game where C had 23 points, all of our other February games have been a struggle, below 28% in all the other ones.
You said she's been trading good game after maybe not so good game, as Silva lets it fly off the rim and bagged by Cooper.
It's a great shot, though. They went under. I mean, you can't do that on a sharp shooter like Silva.
Freshman v. freshman, nice fadeaway, and finishes it smoothly.
Well, she did the same move twice on that possession. First one she missed. Menlo, another offensive rebound for them, and that was one of the keys, was the rebounding battle. So far, Menlo's taking it to him.
And Scoff the O board with the left hand.
Yeah, it took Frisch a little while to get up there. She took a hard spill on the other side. Vanguard finally able to take advantage of it.
An arcing pass to get it down low to Rosette.
I like that, though, with confidence. It's gonna, if she continues to shoot that with confidence, Scoff might start falling for the shot fakes. So you're playing chess, not checkers, with a shot like that here early. It's already the 5th turnover here early for Menlo. Make that 6.
Crabtree, top of the key.
0 for 9 combined start for these two teams from downtown.
And Rosette picks up the passport.
And it's funny, because we talked about this off air before the game. The 3-point battle was also going to be something to watch. And you've pointed out, if one team gets hot before the other one, it's going to be over very quickly. But, you know, we started joking, like, what if they both come out cold?
And they're both.
And sure enough.
Comes up with the steal, looking for options, rolling to Rosette, down to the ground. Kobe's first to it.
You gotta love the hustle here on senior day, and that's what you love to see if you're Matosian, Silva, even Faith Boston, Miss Johnson here on the bench for Vanguard. If you're underclassmen are gonna give you that type of effort, that's how you know that they got your back. Incredible hustle there from Akila Kubi.
I don't want to call it an ugly first quarter of basketball, but shots just were not falling.
Well, doesn't that fit Vanguard's MO, the #1 defense in the conference, few points per game allowed?
Dosia.
I get that they're going under the screens right now for C, so what I would probably change right now is have a step-up screen set first to all of a sudden make Menlo think a little bit, and then set the re-screen back to the middle so that it's a deeper screen, and then she can get to a one-dribble pull-up, and that might open up her 3-ball from there. Down for long from downtown, as you see Hudson gets a nice swipe.
Hudson all alone, thank you very much. So Crabtree bags her 50th 3-pointer of the season, and Hudson adds another for Vanguard's largest lead of the ball game so far.
Second best percentage in the conference as well.
Nice pick set by Kubi.
Hudson's been shooting that 3 ball where they go under with a lot more confidence over the last month or so. That's a good sight to see, not just for this game, but for the future.
Crabtree again, and another down the well.
Yeah, I'm confused as to what happened on the exchange on the backside. CE stopped her cut a little bit short, but Menlo just never communicated a switch out. Sorry, Matosian has blood on her jersey.
Well, was she going to get seated anyways with the 2 fouls? Hard to tell.
I think she's earned the trust of Coach Davis up to this point where, yeah, you got 2 fouls. We'll probably try to make it to the media without her now. Although I probably would have left her in until the media, then taken her out with about 2 minutes left to make sure she doesn't pick up her 3rd before the half.
On the drive, oh, nice behind the back, but an offensive foul.
Well, Hudson does so well off the bounce, so she really tests the baseline drive to get her defender to soften up, which makes the screen that much more effective. That time she thought she could snake the screen before it was even set, and that's probably a little bit too congested for her to make that work. Yeah, Coach Spataro earned that one because she's been on the officials for begging for an illegal screen to be called, and you stay on those refs long enough, they won't give it to you. Now it's Madsen's turn to have blood.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they have to find the source of the bleed at this point.
A sneaky little werewolf bite on the part of the wrist there.
No, we've been talking about the turnovers so far, Jared. It's really interesting because as we were prepping for this game, we saw that Menlo, their top 6 scorers, as great as they are, they all have negative assisted turnover ratios. And so if you're Vanguard, I think part of the strategy coming in was speed them up and see, you know, if they are in a scoring area, you trap them and make them make the next pass. And because so far this season, they have not been able to do that.
So Rosette cleaned up and clean on the jumper.
Love the adjustment there from Coach Spataro. How many times have we seen against Vanguard's zone that teams go to the 1-4 high, hit one of the elbows and slash the backside? I was waiting for Menlo to do it because they're one of the best teams at doing it against Vanguard.
Hudson. And she'll have a response on the other end.
Well, this is part of the chess match. What are we talking in the beginning? Were we expecting to see the press from both sides? Yes, but both sides are like, hold on, we're just going to save that in case we need it. And
so, I would not be
yeah.
surprised if the second half is a completely different tempo. It is what happened the last time these two teams played in Costa Mesa, which was probably the most irate I've seen you alongside me, as Vanguard gave up a 16-point lead, tried to dribble through a press, and Menlo ended up running away with it. So they can force some errors, but they give it up again. Hudson on the drive and finishes.
I couldn't have been that irate last time, huh, Jared? But nothing makes me more upset than trying to dribble through a press.
For Cooper, mishandles the dribble. With the kind of game it's been, it is certainly not without question that they can pull their way back into this one.
Absolutely not. When you have a player like Frisch who's 7th in the conference of points per game, as well as Rosette who's 12, I mean, you're certainly going to have a chance, but it's the turnovers. You can't score if you're not getting a shot at the rim at least. And so take care of the ball and let your scorers make plays.
On the drive, that time denied by Carrillo.
Yeah, a little taste of her own medicine. Usually it's Scoff who's dishing out the rejections, but this time, as she tried to drive on 2 players, that one needs to be probably a stride stop and spread to your shooters on the outside, because after a slow start for Vanguard, they've hit their last 3 from downtown.
Carrillo, and splits the seam.
Sometimes that's all you need is just a lucky break right there to give you a little bit of life. The ball was deflecting, you're thinking, oh no, here's another turnover, and all of a sudden Carrillo has the ball, and she's laying it up.
Tries the 3, no good, and scooped up by Scoff.
Great box out there all around, especially by Madsen.
Madsen, sidestep Jay. And that time you see the length of Rosette. Had to make her think twice.
Yeah, Madsen used to being able to get that one up on that sidestep. But Rosette, you've mentioned her length. She is one of the best players in the conference in my opinion. If there was a all defensive team, she would certainly have my vote.
Yeah. I think last year, and Frisch trying to stay tight.
Here comes a zone now from Menlo. I love the switch up.
Another dangerous pass. And that foul goes against Ali CE.
And I told you this is going to be a chess match, Jared. And Coach Spataro said, we're going to go to a zone right here coming out of the timeout. It looked like man all the way. As soon as they had the deflection, she said, we'll change it up. And a beautiful job there, because Vanguard had no clue what to do, and it results in a CE foul.
And now we play a dangerous game with the final 2:46, where you've racked up some fouls, and you give what is a very good free throw shooting team, especially with the likes of Frisch, a chance to.
Yeah, Vanguard got to be really smart here, not committing any more fouls. They just shot 22-26 down at Point Loma. So as bad as that game was, that was their silver lining, was that they're still a very good free throw shooting team, as you mentioned. And I'm sure the Frisch family back home are going to try to kill us both.
Does well to Denier coming in, and a baseline jumper is good for Scoff.
See, was still trying to run their zone offense with the high-low read against the man because Coach Pitaro continues to throw different things at Vanguard. Over-dribbling again, and you talked about how mad I was a couple years ago. We're saying the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again because Vanguard kept trying to dribble through the press. But this time, it was just Hudson who didn't get off the ball soon enough. You missed Crabtree there. Menlo said, all right, we've seen you guys run the sideline play so much. Crabtree did a great job reading the defense instead of just the play. She flared on it, knowing that Menlo was trying to beat her to the inside, and then CE was just already looking the other way.
JJ, we're going to have a little fun on the broadcast as we're going to talk postseason awards. Picked out some names.
Okay.
I'm going to run them by you and see if you concur, if you have any differences, if you got a shout out that you want to put into the hat. So we'll start off with Coach of the Year. Okay, I've got Kirsten Moore of Westmont. I think they've done pretty well with a younger squad. Yep. I've got Russ Davis, of course, who I think deserves an honest shout. And then I got Charity Elliott of PLNU, who I think probably has maybe the best chance to win it. But what are your thoughts?
I like the top three, certainly. I think Coach Pitaro deserves to be in there as well, considering what she has done in getting them to go 9-1 in their last 10 with their only loss coming to Point Loma. But for that reason, I think I got to agree with you and go with Charity Elliott at Point Loma to win the conference in a season that's featured 3 new teams where there's a bunch of unknown. Yeah, there's footage, but you don't know how they're going to really fare. I think I got to go with, agree with you and Coach Elliott of Point Loma.
All right, let's walk through Freshman of the Year, which I'll be honest, I wrote down some names, but spoiler alert, I got Emma Scoff.
Yeah.
I put Jasmine Shipp. I think Shipp has took average double figures off the bench. Got to give her some credit. I also put in as a dark horse Keanu Marie Hui of Hawaii Hilo. I think caught heat in the second half of the season. I'm going with Emma Scoff. I think that one's maybe that one's a bit more settled in stone in my opinion.
What Jasmine Shipp did when she came in here was certainly impressive, and that's going to make me pause about this. I think I have to go with Scoff just because of the performance that she had against Azusa Pacific, where Vanguard beat APU, and APU had not lost to anybody in the Pac-West in years. So I think I have to go with Emma Scoff because as a freshman to go into hostile territory and put on a performance like she did there, I'm going to go with Scoff.
All right, these last few are tough. We got Newcomer, Defender, and Player of the Year. I'm going to run by these rapid fire. Newcomer of the Year, I got Kaylee Bion of Point Loma leading the league in assists in her first season, the transfer. I've also got Allie McDonald, who is averaging nearly a double-double. And then I've got Taylor Lindsay, who I think is, it's hard to pick a criteria to pick Newcomer of the Year. I think it'll probably go to a C line, but I don't know if you have a shout-out that you want to give.
Well, Taylor Lindsay, we saw her last night. She didn't play the best because of the foul trouble, but I was impressed with just her energy, her motor. So I think she has to be in that conversation as well. Kaylee Bion, I appreciate everything that she has done as well. I mean, that's a really tough category. I'm going to throw my own name in and go with Sarah Matosian because even though she's not new to Vanguard, she is new to the conference. So by that criteria that the Pac-West outlines, I think you have to give it to Sarah Matosian as part of that conversation.
Listen to this as we get into my final picks. I've got Player of the Year, of course, and Defender of the Year. I think Tavia Rao is going to win Player of the Year because Point Loma won the conference. But I think Sarah Matosian deserves a real shot at Player of the Year, in my honest opinion.
She'll be first team All Pac-West, certainly, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it a co-Player of the Year, to be honest with you. I mean, what Matosian has done every single night, not just this season, but in years past, the step that she took forward this year, as you see a turnover here to start the second half for Menlo, the step that Sarah Matosian took in terms of being the most selfless player, for their line. What did she do the other night? She had 2 points, I believe.
And was still easily one of the best players on the floor.
She does whatever the team needs, and I think that's what I will appreciate most about Sarah Matosian as we call her last half of college basketball.